But a new battle between President Trump and James Comey as the former FBI director continues his media blitz. The president calling out Comey at his rally in Michigan Saturday, saying he was dishonest about his actions in the run-up to the Mueller probe.
How about this guy, Comey? Comey's a liar and a leaker. You know, I did you a great favor when I fired this guy. I tell you, I did you a great favor. Because when you look at what was going on at the top of the FBI, it is a disgrace, and everybody in this room understands it.
Comey hitting back the next day, citing President Trump trying to undermine the Russia investigation and that special counsel Robert Mueller should not trust the president. Watch.
I have serious doubts about his credibility.
The President of the United States?
Yes.
Whether he were under oath or not?
Correct.
How long is this feud going to go on? What about that guy, Comey? What about him? Did President Trump do us all a service by firing that guy?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm glad he's not there. Let's look at Comey's actions while he was there. The FBI investigation of the Clinton email scandal was a joke. The head investigator had a bias against Trump, very much for Clinton, and they were talking about creating an insurance policy to make sure Trump didn't win. So the server was never given over. They beat it with a hammer and bleached it out, and nobody went to jail. She was interviewed not under oath. To me, I think the whole investigation around Clinton was a joke. They had their thumb on the scale for her. When it comes to the dossier that was used early on to get a warrant against Carter Page, Comey said he didn't know it was paid for by the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
That is stunning that the FBI used a dossier prepared by a foreign agent who was paid by a political party to find dirt on Trump in Russia, who could easily have been manipulated by the Russian intelligence service. And to this day, he claims he didn't know it was a paid document by a political party.
Do you believe him on that? I mean, how do you run the FBI? We're journalists,
him,
by the way. We want to know where our information is coming from our sources.
Right.
It's a similar type of thing.
He said he wasn't concerned about it.
Would you go with a story if you didn't know where it was from? No, right.
We're talking about providing a document to a court to get a warrant on an American system. You should know where the damn thing comes from.
Right. Well, and the FBI also has incredible surveillance powers of email, particularly overseas, if there are any.
So they could have found out if they wanted to.
They absolutely could have, and if that was something that was so critically important to national security, it speaks to his incompetence. James Comey has been talking a lot about moral superiority and competence on this media blitz of his, and if he didn't know that Peter Strzok and Lisa Page were compromised in one direction toward a Democratic presidential candidate and against another, then that also speaks to his emotional incompetence. Well, the fact that he couldn't read people and he couldn't ask basic questions about the funding of a compromised document, it just shows that he was an incompetent person, and he would have been fired by either administration.
If I could add to that, I mean, he was asked by our Brett Baer whether or not there was any bias at the FBI, specifically from Lisa and Peter, and he said no. I don't think there's any bias. I mean, how can you look at that and not see bias?
He backed McCabe again, but the question now is moving forward, right? Yeah. Where are we going with this? And we've not only seen the president questioning Comey's credibility, we also saw Comey going after the president, but there are conflicting accounts of what exactly went on between Andrew McCabe, former Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Yeah. Comey is now under criminal investigation by the Inspector General. I mean, this is not going away, despite all the mudslinging that we see.
He made the argument out of the gate that originally it was paid for by Republicans, and then, or by a Republican opponent, and that in the end he knew it was paid for by somebody in the opposition, but he didn't know who. I find those things really hard to believe, but, you know, Senator Graham, do you think anything ever comes of any of this?
Well, I should be FBI director because I figured this all out. Mr. Comey, in case you're watching, Fusion GPS was hired by the Democratic Party, the Clinton campaign, who was paid $168,000. He's a former MI5 agent who had a lot of contacts in Russia. He went to Russia to get dirt on Trump. He was probably compromised by the Russian intelligence services. He had a bias against Trump. He told Mr. Orr, the number 4 guy, that I'm going to do everything I can to beat Trump.
All right.
I'm over here. Sorry about that. That was good. I'm sorry you missed it. Yes. But this is incredible. There should be a second special counsel appointed. Mr. Huber from Utah is a nice fellow, I'm sure, but you should have a special counsel looking at the corruption of the Department of Justice, about how a warrant was used with a document that's bogus, and about 2 FBI agents. It's okay to have political opinions.
Should we see that application?
It's not okay to create an insurance policy.
We're still waiting anxiously for that.
Hey, Jeff Sessions appointed second counsel.
Yeah, we're waiting anxiously for that Inspector General report that will show how the FBI handled the Clinton email investigation.
There's more coming, too.